Hi there, I'm Jennifer Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio, and welcome to Home Talk. Today, I'm going to take just a regular pillow cover that you can get from Hobby Lobby or any of your craft stores, and using some wonderful paint and a stamping roller, we're going to transform it so it goes with our home decor. Okay, we're going to get started with our project, and I'm going to be using, it's called Blue Iris from the DIY paint line. And I decided I wanted to actually change the background color of this pillow cover. So I'm going to take some of my paint out of the container, okay? And I'm going to put it on a foam plate, and then I'm going to dilute it a lot with water, okay? So not just a little bit of water, but a lot of water, because I'm basically going to want to make a wash here. So I'm going to pour some water onto my foam plate, and because I really don't know exactly how much pigment I really want, I'm going to just play on this plate, okay, and just dilute the color, adding water to it. And then I grabbed a scrap piece of fabric that I know it's not the exact same texture of the pillow cover, but I figured it would be close and give me an idea how much pigment I really wanted to have in there, because I'm going to be painting on the entire background. So this will give me an idea of how much of the paint I want to pick up and how much do I want to have it just dilute it with that water, okay? And this is totally one of those things that's personal. You can decide how much pigment you want, how dark you want to make it, or how light you want to keep it, okay? And it's just by picking up a little bit of paint, mixing it into my brush, and then just brush back and forth, okay? I think I'm happy with this. And I kind of got an idea of how much water I'm going to need. So we're going to go ahead and grab our actual pillow, okay? So this has, a zipper opening so that you can put your pillow in here. And I just thought this would be absolutely beautiful color. It's one of the DIY's newest colors, okay? So I am just brushing it on, okay? If I get too dark, I can just come back and grab more water, okay? And brush, and I don't have to have it perfect. It doesn't have to be 100% coverage. But I love this look because it has totally distressed look to it. And you can kind of let your color go back and forth from lighter to darker with the amount of pigment that you pick up. But it allows you to totally customize something for your house. So as I'm painting here, why don't we all get to know each other a little bit better? I will definitely be on the live premiere with you, watching alongside to answer your questions. And as we're doing that, please make sure that you let me know where you are tuning in from, where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, make sure to just ask away. Also, if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming shows, make sure to hit the follow button so that you will get notified, okay, and be able to follow my channel here on the Home Talk page, because we have all kinds of fun things coming up for you. During the month of April, I'm actually going to be on here 3 times, so we've got lots of fun stuff. So this will take a few minutes, okay? It doesn't take too long, but does take a few minutes to get your background painted on. But this is so cool because how many times have you been shopping, okay? And you go to look for something and it's like you find the perfect design or the perfect pattern that you absolutely love, but it's not the right color. So then you're kind of back to square one. Okay, so I ran out of paint. Actually, I didn't. There's more on the stick. Okay, so I can still pull it off the stick here. But if you run out of paint, just go back into your container and just put some more on there. I forgot that I still had it on the stir stick. Now I've got a couple areas that the background is still showing, and I'm okay with that. Okay, I kind of like that look. I think it's a little bit more vintage, but this gives you the ability to go and just grab a pillow cover. Okay, I'm sure you can find these Amazon or Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever online right now. And just make sure you're getting the size that you want, or maybe you'll have to actually buy a pillow to go in it as well. And then you too can get started on one of these fun projects. Also, there is a materials list button at the top of the screen. So if you want all the details of the colors and products I'm using, make sure to click on that, and you will get links, I believe, to everything. So isn't this fun? I love how it's variegated, okay? And I think I need to probably get a little bit darker over here. But you can always go back and add, okay? You can't really take away, but you can definitely go back and add. So I'm going to go a little bit darker on this side. But this is such a fun way to paint. Now, once I get this whole pillow cover done, I'm going to have to let this dry. So the quickest and the easiest thing for you to do is to go ahead and put it in the dryer, because that's also going to heat set your paint for you. Or you can heat set with an iron and a pressing cloth, whichever you prefer. But that would speed up the process if you went ahead and threw it in the dryer, okay? And I believe, I'll have to look at the instructions, but I think I can throw this in the dryer. Probably on low, and just to make sure that I even get the paint set, okay? The DIY paint that I'm using, when it gets diluted with water, it's basically almost making like a stain, because this is a clay-based product that is heavily pigmented, so they're wonderful to work with, and they're great on fabric. This has been one of the products I probably have used the most on my fabric projects when I want to paint my background color especially. So I'm also going to flip it over and paint the other side as well. And again, this is Blue Iris. This is one of the newer colors, and I was just completely inspired to check this color out a little bit more and have some fun with it. So make sure, if you have any questions, just write them in the comments, and I'll be here to answer on the premiere. And I think I just about have this side done. Okay, a little bit more water. And you don't always have to dip back into the paint. You can dip back more into the water itself and just move your color, okay? And I think I'm going to leave a lot of the canvas color that's peeking through. I think I'm just going to leave that, other than on this edge up here. I'm going to try to get a little bit more coverage on that one. But other than that, I think that just kind of gives it more of a vintage look. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to come back, and we are going to use this wonderful stamping roller. And I'll show you how to use this, and how wonderful and easy it is to play with. So we'll be right back. Okay, we are ready for our next step, which is going to be introducing you to one of our rollers, which we refer to as a stamping roller. So I picked out a pattern here. It's called the Chrysanthemum, and I'm going to show you the parts of this whole thing. So we have a handle. These two parts come separated, okay? So the U shape comes separate from the blue. All you have to do is put this little nut on there and attach them. Very easy. You take your foam applicator. This is what our paint's going to get loaded into. And there's two sets of holes on the handle. There's a smaller set that's closer to the handle itself, and then there's another hole out here on the other end. Okay, so you're going to put your sponge in the back set of holes, and like you just saw me, you just kind of have to muscle this up and open it, okay, to get that in there. And then once you have your sponge in, then we're going to be ready to load our paint in. Okay, I'm using what's called a serving tray. I line it with Press and Seal. It just makes a great surface to load your paint on. Again, I'm still working with DIY paints by Debbie's Design Diary, and this one is White Swan. And I'm just going to pour some of this out onto my plate here, and there was a whole big glob that came out with that. Okay, so definitely need to get my lid on probably a little bit better because it looks like we're starting to dry out, but we have plenty of good paint here, so we're just going to move our chunkies, okay, to the side. And the first thing you want to do is just kind of move the paint out across so that you've got plenty of paint to work with. And the DIY paint's a little thick, so I love these mist bottles, and I will just kind of give my sponge a real light mist, okay, just so it has a little bit of water on it. And then it seems to help allow all that paint to absorb in there so much easier, okay? So you can roll back and forth in whichever direction, and you just want to make sure that you have paint completely across. Okay, it seems like it loaded on the sides and not in the middle. Must have been the way I poured it out there. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you've got paint worked into that roller. Take a couple of seconds and just work it in really good. Okay, I've noticed I got another one of those little dried pieces. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. And then we're going to load our pattern in here, okay? So keep the roller on the side like this. That way the pin on the bottom is sitting on something. Okay, it's going to keep that pin in position. So when you lift up this side of the arm, you can keep the sponge in and then open it up wide enough to put the pattern in there. Once you do this, you can either just kind of roll it by your hand, okay, and get your pattern loaded, or you can always take a piece of, this is just what we have is packing paper here, and roll it out on your packing paper just to make sure that you've got the whole design ready to go, okay? And I got an awful lot of paint on here. I think I'm actually going to wipe some of this off. It seems like it got really heavy on that one edge. So again, see how you can just wipe off some excess paint, okay, if you need to. Okay, so now we're going to, I'm going to turn that over so I don't get that pattern on anything. I have our pillow, okay, and it's not completely dry, and that's one thing I really wanted to show you as well, as you don't have to wait for it to completely dry before you get going on this project. So I'm doing it where the fabric is still wet from doing this. Okay, I like to stand up when I do this, so I'm going to get off my bar stool here because I like the angle to be about this direction. You don't ever want it to get too low and have your sponge hit your surface, okay? So I'm just going to start up here on top. You don't have to press hard as well because your roller is a softer roller and it's not a real hard rubber, so it will definitely transfer real easy, okay? And I think I need to get a paper towel for my fingers here. There we go. So now I can touch things, okay? So I'm just going to do pass after pass. If it gets where you have some paint down on the lower section, you can always come in here and just wipe that off, okay? Because like I said, I think I had a little too much paint that I loaded on to the roller, okay? So it's kind of nice for you guys to see that these are some of the things that you can do. Okay, then I'm going to try to line up to where I finished and just make another pass. And this is going to be so absolutely adorable. Okay, now this is probably going to be the hardest area over here because we have the seam. That's where the zipper and everything is, and I'm just going to run off the edge, but it might pick it up kind of strange here, okay? I'm just kind of fair warning you because we have a seam that's going to kind of keep our roller up. Then again, it might work just perfect. Sometimes you just don't know when you have to deal with a seam edged, okay? But like I said, I was even doing this. I'm going to turn it your way now. Oh my gosh, this looks so great. I was going for more of a distressed vintage look, and that's exactly what we got going here. Okay. I am going to just see. Okay, I think we should be safe. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm flipping this over on a clean piece of packing paper. Okay, so that way it will transfer to the paper if there is anything still wet. And I'm going to leave the zipper area for last. So I'm going to flip it around again. And we're just going to go ahead and roll the other side, and we will have a beautiful, beautiful pillow cover here done in just minutes. So easy. Okay, there's so much home decor that you can do with these. We've done our pillowcases. We have done our drapery panels. My gosh, we've done these on our clothes. We have used these rollers on a lot of projects. So here we go. Both sides are completely done. And I want to tell you, this was quick and easy. So don't forget, make sure to hit that follow button so that you will not miss any of my upcoming segments. And the materials list is a button at the top of the screen as well. Thank you once again for joining me here in Home Talk. And we're going to go let this dry and find a pillow to put inside here, and we will show you the completed piece.